isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Um, so hi, I wondered if you wanted to introduce yourself first, just by your name. I know we're thinking about maybe a pen name, so you can keep thinking about that if you want to. Um,
My name's Isabelle. Um, I'm from Manchester. I live very close to the Poetry Library. And yeah, I've known Louise for a few years. She was basically a neighbour, but not especially well. Um, and yeah, I attended the poetry writing workshops.
what did you enjoy about the workshops? I know you came along to the first couple.
I really enjoyed the activities that Louise set. Um, I thought they were really fun and engaging and like non-threatening. I thought she was a really wonderful facilitator, and yeah, it was just really great to be writing. I didn't expect to feel so comfortable.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, so I really enjoyed that aspect. It was nice to be in a space with other people who, are either diagnosed or self-identified as autistic, because it kind of meant that I didn't have to worry so much about just being myself.
yeah.
I feel like those sort of spaces are more inclusive. Um, so yeah.
So was it different than you expected then? It sounds like maybe it was more comfortable than you expected it was going to be.
Yeah, I haven't done any writing workshops before, and so I didn't really know what to expect, I guess. But I think I did expect to feel more awkward,
Mm.
um, and more kind of out of place, but I actually felt very comfortable. Um, yeah, and I've written loads since then.
I was going to ask about that. You've been writing lots.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, yeah. I haven't for the last sort of few days. But yeah, I used to I used to write a journal since I was a kid, and I've kind of stopped doing that and started writing poems instead. Um,
Amazing.
so yeah, it has had quite a big impact on me actually. Um, so yeah, it was different, and it was the variety of activities I didn't expect, and I really enjoyed that side of it, like doing lots of different types of writing activities.
Mm. What would you, if we were going to run it again or run it differently again, what do you think that we could add to make it even better?
Um, I think maybe if it was possible to do a daytime session,
Hmm.
that would be really great. Um, particularly I guess for people who've got like caring responsibilities, children, it's just so much easier for us to come out in the daytime. And I think for some people with particular types of disabilities or particular kind of dimensions to their autism, coming out in the daytime is easier. So I think that would be really great. If there was maybe the option of a daytime group, even if it was like less regular,
Mm.
um, maybe just once a month or something like that. And then I think the other thing that, for me personally, I don't know if this would help other people, but I quite enjoy building relationships with a group and in the same space, so being in the same room each week or each month or whatever, and then also maybe having, like, I don't know, new people joining every 6 weeks or so, so you
Mm.
can kind of turn up and kind of know not necessarily who's going to be there, but there's not going to be like tons of new people,
It feels
which
kind of
can
like
be,
a core group, and then you can refresh
yeah,
it. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
can
like
see how
something
that's
like that.
nice.
I would really appreciate something like that. Um, and yeah, that's it really in terms of suggestions. I thought, look, like I said, Louise's facilitation was really, really great. Um, but yeah, I guess if it was to sort of run as like a more permanent group, maybe there could be like guest facilitators or different people coming in to share their work, and rather than just all being on Louise every single week might be a bit much.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something we're thinking about. Those are really helpful suggestions. Thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about or express before we get to your poem?
I think in terms of the group, I guess it's just that, and this is a really sort of mundane suggestion, but in regards to getting into the building,
Mm,
and I guess that's another issue with it being in the evening if they don't have staff on. It's quite not the best being sort of stuck outside. So yeah, if that could be sort of resolved somehow. But I understand
yeah.
that's more to do with like the university and the wider library. And yeah, it was really great. It was a really great experience.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I think that's something that we'd definitely consider time of year and things like that because we did it across the summer this year just because of the availability and really wanting to do it. But it's not the best time of year to for it to feel like a open space and one that's easily accessible for people. So
I
that's
have
really
got
helpful.
one other kind of suggestion, and this isn't something that would like directly benefit me as such. I think in terms of, you know, the quote unquote autistic community, um, there's obviously very little resources for anyone.
Mm,
And I think it would be really like I've got a friend whose son is non-verbal, for example, and he has quite his autism impacts him really profoundly, and he'll never be able to live alone and various different things. And I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if people who were kind of in that group who have autism in that sense are able to access some type of creative
mm,
workshops as well, because that's the only thing I worry sometimes about things for people who like myself diagnosed with autism that maybe sort of, I don't know, it's a bit of a difficult topic to talk about, but there's so little scarcity of resources.
mm.
I wouldn't like to see people whose autism is so debilitating kind of lose out. So it'd be wonderful to see like creative workshops for people who are non-verbal, for example,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I don't know if that's something that could be run alongside what you guys are doing, or if that'd be for another organisation to do. But I just thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, definitely. You're not the first person to mention that, and I think it's definitely something that we want to consider in the next stage of getting a little bit more support in the space as well of things that people can refer to or having a support worker in the space that if people come with something else going on in their lives that they want support with, that it's not that they just come and then you get left out in the world after your 2 hour writing session. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's really helpful. Do you feel ready to read your piece?
Yeah, I'll just bring it up. Um, don't know if it's going to cut this screen again because I'm going to. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So would you like me to screen share it as well, or?
Um, because I'm just going to use the audio. It would be really helpful if you could send me a copy though when you send,
Yeah.
because I'm going to do transcriptions of everything, but just with poems, it's helpful to know where people put their line breaks and things rather than me guessing. So if you're able to send that file as well, that's really helpful.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So I'll just read the title and then dive in, shall I?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, perfect. Okay, just give me a minute. Suddenly have a bit of stage fright. Um, Attachment style. Love sweeps in like a sweet melody, like wow, this is really how it feels to be. In deep harmony, just you and me. This love is divinely anointed. But then, oh shit, this has to be avoided. You're way too close. Oh dear. Can we restart that? I got a bit of a
Yeah,
voice crack.
absolutely.
Sorry. There we go. Attachment style. Like love sweeps in like a sweet melody. Like, wow, this is really how it feels to be in deep harmony, just you and me. This love is divinely anointed. But then, oh shit, this has to be avoided. You're way too close. I feel myself recoiling. This just feels too strong. It must be wrong. Let me pick it apart. I'll find the fault. Now it's a race. Let's see. Is the wrong in you or is it in me? And cutting through all the noise, a tiny voice chimes. This feels like what I missed. And now with you loving me, I feel the abyss. A love so wanted, I needed it to thrive, but I made do without it just so I could survive. If you can love me, why couldn't they? They were good people in so many ways. And what does that say about me? Why did I endure that loveless misery? So I'll stop this right now. I prefer it to be unquestioned, avoided. I'll swap your love for the comfort of that being a mystery. But wait, I have a theory. There's a thing that loves, not the many, but just the few. And skin tones and postcodes, bank balances and drink ravages, and the pink and blue. Decide how heavy this thing falls on you, on your mother, your father. It landed on mine for true. So the mystery is solved. It wasn't me or you. But now we're armed with the info. What the fuck do we do? We could see forever with this little love flame. We were blind in the darkness, but we weren't to blame. Let's make it our mission. Let's make it our cause to gather all the blessings and let love win all the wars. I know it's easier to say than do, but let's love each other deeply and ourselves too. That's it.
Oh, thank you so